After the transfer window recently opened, Newcastle United are very busy. From a deal close to being done as Newcastle are on the brink of third summer signing after talks, to Newcastle's cheeky Bowen bid, to Newcastle being best placed to sign Gibbs White this summer despite interest from Tottenham, to a Sky Sports News exclusive on a huge Yankuba Minteh update as big club put Newcastle United youngster on their list.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
To Dan Ashworth appointment set for exit as Newcastle sanction move after approach. To a new twist in Bruno Guimaraes saga as ESPN issue Man City update ahead of 100 million cutoff. Plus, we'll also reveal what Sandro Tonali is now intending to do at Newcastle United next season. Join us as we uncover the latest Newcastle United news. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because you won't want to miss a single moment of this incredible journey.
Let's go.
Starting off, Newcastle United are close to striking a deal for Burnley goalkeeper James Trafford. Journalist Ben Jacobs revealed in a podcast that the deal is getting quite close to being done, as Newcastle look to sign a young shot stopper to compete with current number 1 Nick Pope. Last weekend, it emerged that Newcastle had launched a £16 million bid for Trafford, which was initially turned down by Burnley. However, the talks have continued, and it now sounds like the two clubs are nearing an agreement to bring the 21-year-old England talent to Tyneside. Jacob stated that, according to my information, James Trafford to Newcastle is getting quite close to being done. Burnley are pushing for a fee of £20 million. If Trafford does arrive at St James Park, he would be Newcastle's third official signing of the summer transfer window. The club has already activated a £28 million obligation to buy Lewis Hall from Chelsea and have also secured the free transfer of Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth. Newcastle had previously been linked with other young goalkeeping options such as Valencia's Georgi Mamardashvili and Arsenal's Aaron Ramsdale. However, the report suggests that Trafford may be the more suitable long-term option, as he is younger and likely to cost half the price of some of the other targets. The move for Trafford appears to be part of Newcastle's strategy to safeguard their future, with the 21-year-old potentially learning from the experienced Nick Pope before eventually stepping in as the club's number 1. Overall, the report indicates that Newcastle are close to completing their third signing of the summer, as they continue to strengthen their squad ahead of the new season. Then moving on, Newcastle United are being viewed as the best placed club to sign Nottingham Forest midfielder Morgan Gibbs White this summer, should the 24-year-old decide to leave the City ground. The highly rated attacking midfielder enjoyed an impressive Premier League campaign with Forest last season, contributing 15 goals and 10 assists in 37 league appearances. His performances have caught the attention of several clubs, with Tottenham Hotspur reported to be among those interested in acquiring his services. However, journalist Dean Jones suggests that Newcastle hold a slight edge over their top 6 rivals in the race to secure Gibbs White's signature. Jones highlights that the Magpies have been closely monitoring the player's situation and are best placed to complete a potential transfer. The report suggests that Gibbs White would be an intriguing signing for Newcastle as he could provide a valuable attacking threat to complement the likes of Alexander Isak in the team. The 24-year-old's ability to operate in the attacking midfield role and create chances for the forwards is seen as an appealing asset that could bolster the Magpies' offensive options. Jones, talking to Give Me Sport, suggests Newcastle are best placed to sign Gibbs White this summer despite interest from Tottenham by saying, "Doubt continues to linger around the potential of him staying at Nottingham Forest, and my hunch is that if he leaves, Newcastle would be the club best placed to sign him. Spurs are being linked too, but I've heard a few whispers around the Newcastle side of this that would make me side with them slightly in terms of being favourites at this early stage. He would be such an intriguing signing in that Newcastle team, a lovely player to have, making inroads behind Isak. We know the priority for Newcastle is to find an attacker for the right side of the attack, but I would still keep an eye on Gibbs White and how his situation starts to open up. With Newcastle's primary focus being to strengthen their options on the right side of the attack, the potential acquisition of Gibbs White is viewed as an additional boost to the squad. In terms of the financial aspects, reports indicate that Nottingham Forest are demanding around £40 million for Gibbs White, who joined the club from Wolverhampton Wanderers last summer. This price tag is not seen as a major deterrent for the cash-rich Newcastle, who are willing to invest heavily in their squad to continue their progress under the guidance of manager Eddie Howe. Overall, the report suggests that Newcastle are in a strong position to secure the signing of Morgan Gibbs White, should the player decide to leave Nottingham Forest this summer. The Magpies' interest and their ability to meet the financial demands could give them an edge over their rivals in the pursuit of the highly rated attacking midfielder. Furthermore, according to Give Me Sports sources, Newcastle United are considering signing Juventus forward Federico Chiesa as they continue their search for a right winger this summer, with the Italian potentially available for a lower price than Crystal Palace's Michael Olise. The report states that Newcastle's pursuit of Olise is deemed very ambitious, as the Frenchman is reportedly favoring a move to Manchester United or Chelsea over a switch to St James's Park. With Chelsea said to be in advanced negotiations with Crystal Palace, Newcastle have been forced to look elsewhere for alternative options to strengthen their attacking unit. In this context, the report suggests that Chiesa has now emerged as a top option for Newcastle and manager Eddie Howe. In terms of another option on the right side, according to a report from Athletic journalist David Ornstein in his daily column, Newcastle United could potentially switch their attention to West Ham winger Jarrod Bowen if they are unable to secure their primary target, Crystal Palace's Michael Olise. Ornstein's article suggests that Eddie Howe's Newcastle team would favor a move for Olise to strengthen their right wing. However, if that move fails to materialize, then Bowen would become a target for the Magpies. While Ornstein is known for his accurate reporting, he expresses skepticism about the likelihood of this link for a few key reasons. 1. West Ham have no intention of selling Bowen, who has just been named their Hammer of the Year and is on the cusp of breaking into England's national team. 2. Newcastle are reportedly having to spend frugally in the upcoming transfer window due to financial fair play (FFP) and Premier League spending restrictions (PSR) constraints. 3. It's highly unlikely that West Ham would entertain anything less than £80 million for Bowen, which may be too high a valuation for Newcastle given their spending limitations. Additionally, Bowen is happy and settled in Essex with his partner Danny Dyer, and has recently signed a new contract with West Ham that keeps him at the London Stadium until 2030. In contrast, Olise may be a more viable target for Newcastle, as he has a release clause in his Crystal Palace contract that would likely be considerably lower than Bowen's valuation. Overall, while the reported interest in Bowen is intriguing, I believe it is highly unlikely to come to fruition, given West Ham's stance on keeping the player and Newcastle's financial constraints in the current transfer market. Then moving on, according to a report from Sky Sports in Germany, Borussia Dortmund are eyeing up a summer move for Newcastle United's young sensation Yankuba Minteh. Sky Sports German correspondent Patrick Berger has revealed that new Borussia Dortmund manager Nuri Sahin has shortlisted 3 targets for the summer transfer window, with Newcastle winger Yankuba Minteh being one of them. The other 2 players on Sahin's list are Ferdi Kadioglu of Fenerbahce and PSV midfielder Jerdy Schouten. The report mentions that a move for Minteh has been lined up in case Jadon Sancho's proposed move from Manchester United does not go through, following his successful loan spell at Dortmund. This information aligns with what The Telegraph's Luke Edwards revealed earlier this month, where he stated that unnamed sides in Germany and Italy were showing interest in the 19-year-old Gambian winger, following his impressive loan spell at Feyenoord. It appears that Borussia Dortmund are one of the German clubs interested in Minteh, and they could potentially make a move for him if Sancho's transfer from Manchester United does not materialize. However, the Telegraph earlier suggested that Newcastle would only be willing to sell Minteh if a substantial offer in the region of £40 million arrives. So the Magpies are likely to hold out for a significant fee for the young talent, as they look to safeguard their future and continue their impressive progress under manager Eddie Howe. Talking about safeguarding the Newcastle future, Newcastle United are inching closer to seeing the back of Bruno Guimaraes' hefty release clause, which has been a source of concern and speculation around the player's future at St James Park. Currently, clubs have the opportunity to sign the Magpies midfield talisman for a staggering £100 million, but time is quickly running out to secure a deal. The release clause is only available for a limited period, with potential suitors needing to complete a transfer by June 24th. This has naturally led to a sense of frustration among the Tyneside faithful, as the public nature of Bruno's release clause has inevitably sparked rumors of the Brazilian's potential departure. However, Newcastle United have never shied away from the situation, with manager Eddie Howe even acknowledging the tight deadline facing interested parties. While Arsenal have been reported as not interested in meeting the £100 million price tag, the primary threats to Newcastle's hopes of retaining their midfield maestro have been seen as Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain. Yet, Even those concerns appear to be subsiding, as recent reports suggest that PSG have now cooled their interest in the 26-year-old. According to a report from ESPN, Manchester City's pursuit of Bruno is contingent on one of their current midfielders, such as Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, or Matheus Nunes, requesting a move away from the Etihad Stadium. The Premier League champions are said to view the £100 million price tag as excessive and are not willing to meet the release clause unless a departure frees up space in their midfield. This development should be music to the ears of Newcastle supporters, as it suggests that City are unlikely to trigger the clause in the final days before it expires. With no other suitors seemingly willing to meet the lofty valuation, it appears increasingly likely that Bruno will be staying on Tyneside beyond the summer transfer window. While the constant speculation around the player's future may not subside entirely, the impending expiration of the release clause will undoubtedly give Newcastle the upper hand in any future negotiations. The Magpies can now confidently assert their position and reject any offers that fall short of their valuation, secure in the knowledge that they hold the cards when it comes to the Brazilian's future. As the clock ticks down on Bruno's release clause, Newcastle fans can breathe a sigh of relief, as the prospect of their midfield maestro departing the club this summer appears to be diminishing with each passing day. Then, in a recent development, Newcastle United are set to lose their academy coach Graham Carrick, who is poised to leave the club and join Middlesbrough. Carrick, who is the 39-year-old head coach of Newcastle's much-improved under-18 side, arrived at the club in August 2022. He was thought to be a Dan Ashworth appointment, but now Middlesbrough have been granted permission to speak with the youth manager after making a formal approach. Reports indicate that Carrick, who played for Wallsend Boys Club as a junior, looks set to join his brother Michael Carrick's backroom team at the Riverside Stadium in the Championship. As a result of Carrick's impending departure, Newcastle's academy chief Steve Harper has now been tasked with finding a replacement for the under-18 coach. This means that the young Magpies will start the 2024-25 season with a new manager, following a promising 2023-24 campaign. Under Carrick's leadership, Newcastle's under-18 finished 8th in the Academy Premier League North last season and reached the last 32 of the FA Youth Cup before being eliminated by Bournemouth at St James's Park. Then moving on, Sandro Tonali's return to the Newcastle United squad next season is being viewed as a new signing for the club, as the Italian midfielder looks to make a fresh start at St James's Park. Tonali, who joined the Magpies in a high-profile move last summer, endured a disastrous debut campaign on Tyneside. The 24-year-old was limited to just 12 appearances in all competitions, struggling to adapt to the demands of the Premier League and Eddie Howe's tactical setup. Tonali's troubles were compounded when he received a 10-month ban for betting, which has kept him sidelined for the majority of the 2023-24 season. However, the suspension is set to expire on August 27th, meaning Tonali will only miss the first 2 games of the upcoming 2024-25 campaign. This news has been met with a sense of optimism and excitement among the Newcastle faithful, who are eager to see the Italian international finally make his mark at the club. Tonali's time away has allowed him to overcome the various obstacles he faced in his debut season, including the language barrier and adapting to the rigors of English football. Tonali has been working closely with the Newcastle coaching staff during his suspension, ensuring that he is physically and mentally prepared to hit the ground running when his ban comes to an end. The club's sources have revealed that the midfielder is determined to pay back the fans and the staff for sticking by him during this challenging period, and he is aiming to put in strong performances at the start of the season to repay the faith placed in him. The significant investment Newcastle made in securing Tonali's services last summer, with the Italian being the club's second most expensive signing ever. This heightens the pressure on the 24-year-old to deliver, but the time away has been a blessing in disguise, allowing him to fully settle and adapt to the demands of the Premier League. Heading into the new season, the expectation is that Tonali will return as an even better player, having had the opportunity to work closely with the coaching staff and overcome the initial challenges he faced. Newcastle and their supporters are hoping that his comeback will be akin to a new signing for the team, as they look to build on their impressive progress under Eddie Howe and push for further success in the upcoming campaign. Then finally, in a massive update, if you would want to know the 2 confirmed stars in the Serie A who Newcastle have initiated contact to sign, click the video link on screen now.